Hey everyone, you are listening to the Self-Awareness Journey podcast. This little banter is about a car ride long and features your hosts, JJ Parker and Melissa Albers. JJ owns a tech company and Melissa has been a coach working with influencers for the last 18 years.
All right, Melissa, we got to make this pod fast because I'm going on vacation tomorrow and I got like a million things to do. So no messing around, no wandering around.
No wandering through the woods.
Right. I got one work day to get like 5 work days worth of stuff done before I go out of town for a week.
Funny you should mention this. I was thinking we should talk about vacations today.
Yeah. So many of us feel so much pressure when it's like we're gonna go on vacation, but like the stream of work just doesn't seem to have a break in it, and like there's anxiety before heading off to vacation. There's anxiety while on vacation.
Yeah.
And then there's just like a pile of work to deal with when you get back, and it makes you wonder, like, why did I even do this whole thing in the first place?
I just want to call out for a minute. You seem a little angry about that. And I wonder if it's because you're trying to leave tomorrow morning and you are in the full out smackdown throes of trying to leave.
Yeah, so like this podcast is gonna be 4 minutes long. Let's get going. No, actually, you know what I was thinking about it? I will calm down. I'll work on calming down here, but that we will focus because I think that there's a lot to explore in this topic.
I totally agree. Yeah,
and so many people experience it. But one of my favorite things that I'll apply to this moment is about meditation, and it's that old mantra that says, like, if you don't have 20 minutes to meditate, you need to meditate for an hour.
Oh yeah,
right?
I forgot about
it's kind of like that same thing.
I forgot about that.
If I feel so anxious that I need to try to crack all this stuff out, I actually need to slow down instead of try to speed up.
Yeah. I think right now this is such a great topic because not only are you trying to get on vacation, there's a whole bunch of people that are trying to be on spring break with their families. And in addition to the normal stresses, we've also got the stresses of traveling during the coronavirus, people feeling a little amped up even over that as well. So yeah, I think there's a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Let's talk about the before piece first, because that's where you were kind of starting off.
That's where I am now.
That's where we are. I know it's just you, but I feel like it's we.
I'm dragging you into my like cyclone of
No, but I think that's a thing. I remember when I was in sales and whenever we would try and go on a vacation, I literally remember being up all night doing proposals before we would leave or trying to get all of my stuff done so that I could be gone. I remember being up until 3:00 in the morning, 4:00 in the morning. And that's thinking about that now, it's nuts. But I was young and, I just didn't really know better, but the stress and anxiety is so overwhelming.
Yeah, like what are we doing in our work life that causes us to think this is literally what I was thinking. This week, I have to get an extra week of work in because I'm taking next week off. That doesn't even make any sense, right? Yeah. Like all I have to do in order to get myself a week off is to work 80 hours this week.
That's not unusual for so many of us to think like that.
Right. It's like it's become like the American business default thinking. And when you step back, it doesn't really make any sense. Like, what's the point of vacation if you have to kill yourself to get on vacation?
Right. One of my best friends lives in the UK and they have a very different attitude about vacations. They really do check out when they check out and they think a week is ridiculous. Like when it's
not enough time.
Yeah, it's not enough time. She's a business owner and she's very successful. She's very driven. And when it's vacation time, it's for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, never 1 week. That's not enough. And it is like, I am checking out. And she has no problem doing that. And I've always reflected on how guilty I feel trying to be gone. I feel guilty about it.
So why is that? Like, why do we feel guilty? I'm thinking about why I'm going to feel guilty. But it's something like is it around, like, I have a team, I wanna make sure that the
Mhm.
team has everything they need while I'm gone. Doesn't feel like I should be that important to the organization that if I'm gone, things don't happen or
Well,
something, and which is not true,
yeah.
like, some of the most productive times, I think, for our organization is when I'm gone,
Well, not I
ironically.
no, you're no. But I think you know what, for me it's I think it's us wanting to prove our worth. It's us trying
Mm.
to show a good example. I feel like we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to have this work ethic that looks, you know, stronger than other people's or certainly
Oh,
as good as other people.
it's like a work ethic thing, maybe.
I think there's some work ethic issue in there for sure. And some guilt of how you compare yourself to your work again. You know, your
Yeah.
worth being tied directly to your work. And so you better yeah, I think it's a bunch of those different things. And some people don't have problems going on vacation. But
Yeah, so those
often
people can just turn this off right now.
but you know what? Sometimes I think it's situational. Like, for example, if you hate your job or you're in a place in your life where you're so tapped out you don't want to be home, then that's a different story. But I think when
Yeah.
you're in your normal life, in your normal flow, trying to get ready for vacation, there's so many emotions around it that we try to pretend don't exist.
Yeah. And well, so there's the work quotient of it,
Uh-huh.
right? Just trying to make sure, like, like you said, like, oh, these proposals that I promised for next week are done this week, so no one's waiting on me. I get all this stuff done, and everything's nice and prepared and organized
Mhm.
for me to be gone, and everyone has what they need. Then there's the home part, and if you've got kids, especially, then you've got, like, I have to go make sure that we found all of the 8,000 things we need to bring for us and the kids.
There is a lot of work to get out of vacation for that. I forgot. That's not, and by the way, when you travel with kids, it's really not a vacation, it's a trip.
Yeah, it's more work than a work trip. It's like the next level up. Well, yeah, and we're gonna go skiing, which means I have to, like, also find and expertly pack very tightly all of the ski equipment and make sure no one forgot their gloves or their favorite hat or this thing or that thing.
Well, you are an expert packer. I have full faith that it will be
Yeah.
okay. But right, so there's a added level of stress and workload just to get out of town, like at the
Yep.
home on the home front, especially if you're traveling with your family.
Yep. Yep. And then depending on I'd say, like, how you travel, um
Yeah.
there's a bit of, like, some people have anxiety, like flying or
Mhm.
airports or crowds or driving or just the act of travel, or like the thinking about the travel part
Yep.
can cause stress before you're going on vacation, right?
Absolutely.
Like, um uh my wife and I have different opinions about how early we should show up to the airport.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Are you going to tell me you like to slide
she
in right while the door shuts?
Oh, heck yeah, like, my goal is last person on the plane. Like, why would I do anything but be the very last person on the plane, shut the door behind me, let's go.
There's so many reasons. There's so many reasons. I'm
All
totally
right.
with Amber on this one.
Oh, man.
You've got 3 kids. Let's sprint, kids. It'll be relaxing.
It's like a Home Alone situation, right? Where we're just running through the airport. What's life without a little drama? Okay, so I'm definitely not winning on that argument. But in any case, um, I
Oh,
mean, right, that whole idea that, like, hey, we gotta get somewhere and
yeah,
get through the security. Just that all of that travel stuff can
yeah.
add, and not while you're doing it. It just, like, starts days, weeks ahead of your
Mhm.
vacation, right?
Yeah,
So we've talked about
yeah.
how um, like family holidays, the anxiety of that starts early.
Mhm.
Well, in a lot of cases, the anxiety of some of those more stressful parts of being on vacation start really early.
Oh, I totally agree with you. Yeah, that's really actually, now that we're talking this through, I'm thinking about all these parts and pieces, and I've experienced every single one of those and will again, right? It's like,
Hmm.
and just how much we take some of those feelings, and we sort of compartmentalize them, or we make ourselves feel wrong that we're having them. Like,
Yeah.
why I have no right to feel these things because I'm going on a beautiful vacation. And I think it creates kind of like a little bit of a imbalance because we
Hmm.
try to ignore that we feel sort of stressed
Hmm.
for the sake of looking good, trying to sound optimistic, sound like it's going to be super fun, which it is going to be really fun. But just all those feelings inside are really can be very conflicting sometimes.
Or the anxiety of like, will it be fun? Like, hey, we're gonna go to this beautiful space and we're gonna spend a bunch of money and we're gonna
Yeah.
try to like have some forced fun. And if it's not fun, right? Like, what if it's not fun? What if everyone hates this? What if,
Mm.
what if?
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of times our vacations, they, they are things like they're kind of special big things that
Yeah.
we look forward to,
Right.
right? And we
Mhm.
plan and we pick,
Yeah.
we pick this place or that place, and we pick this Airbnb, and we got all these activities. We put all of this expectation
Yeah.
around it,
Yes.
and that really builds up.
Right. That's exactly right. So there's a lot of emotion going into vacation. So how
Yep.
about during your vacation?
Right.
Like how
So
about
like,
when
when
you're
does that
on
start?
vacation?
Does that start like just as I slid onto the plane at the last second, or after we land?
How about when does it start for you? That's actually a good question because
I don't know. Let me think. I got to think about that.
like I head over to the UK frequently, right? So
Hmm.
when I'm doing that, I never think about the vacation at all when I'm getting planned for it. When I'm
Hmm.
driving to the airport, I'm still not thinking about being on vacation. It is not until the plane doors close that I all of a sudden go, okay, now
Oh,
I got a little ways to wait here. It's going to be, 23 hours door to door. But once
yeah.
I'm at her door, I'm already on, no, there's no turning back now. I'm officially on vacation.
Got it. Like, you've got a commitment point, right?
I do. I make the
Door
commitment.
shut. We're gone. No turning
Yeah.
back.
But not until then. Like I'm just in figure it out mode. Get it done.
Hmm.
Get the packing done. Don't lose the passport. Like where is everything?
Yeah. I think I think I start a little earlier. I think I might be on vacation like as soon as my suitcase is packed and just waiting to go. Like
Oh,
that
really?
evening, like if like we're flying out in the morning or driving out somewhere in the morning, I think it probably starts after I've like zipped my suitcase and like put it downstairs, ready to go.
That's awesome. And if we're doing a road trip, we don't think about it like vacation until the truck is pulling down the driveway.
Mm,
That's when Mitch and I have this funny thing that we've done since we dated, and that is like a fist bump. Like we'll get, and once you get kids and the dogs and the
yeah.
stuff and everybody's hollering and I forgot this and running back into the house 10 times to go to the bathroom and all these things, my mood settles into what can only be described as dark. And I will just be in the passenger side like, oh, and then we get in the truck starts to go down the driveway, and without looking at each other, both of our hands go to the middle console and we do the fist bump, and that means it's
Nice.
time to shift, we're going.
Yeah. Awesome.
But once you're on vacation, like how do you manage work when you're on vacation?
Poorly.
Do you?
Well,
You
yeah.
get
So here's
used
the
to.
problem. Well, here's the problem is that in our super connected world, I mean,
Yeah.
even what used to be sanctuary for me was the plane ride because there wasn't any internet on it. Well, it
Uh-huh.
turns out there's internet on it now, right? So sanctuary turned into like power hour where I can just like super focus on emails and that sort of stuff. Um and the problem I have with work and being on vacation
Mhm.
is that I know I know when I come back, my workload's going to be extra high, right? It was extra high
Mhm.
before I left. It's going to be extra high the week I get back. And so the way I can actually help that is to keep up on some things
Mm.
during my vacation.
That's the story you're telling yourself. I'm gonna make the
Fine.
differentiator. I'm gonna make that differentiator because it may or may not be true, but that's your
Well,
current model that's
and
working.
and I'm a super hypocrite about it too because uh all my employees like there's one in particular, her name's Brooke, and she is just a rock star, and she absolutely deserves the best, most disconnected vacation possible because she is like, I'm sure everyone has these people in their organizations. It's like she is such a hub
Mhm.
of coordination and communication, and she's like on all day, and it's absolutely amazing. And I just want for her to be like, you know what,
See ya.
gone. Um, but she's always on her email on vacation, and
Mm.
I remember a few years ago talking to her about it, and I was like, Brooke, I just wish you could disconnect. And she said, JJ, the problem is that will cause me so much more anxiety than if I just sit and keep up on this stuff for like
Yeah.
an hour a day.
Yeah.
She's
Yep.
like, I will not enjoy my vacation unless I can kind of stay in the loop here.
Yeah.
And at
Yep.
first I was like, oh gosh, I hate that we have you in a position where you feel like that. But then I go do the same thing. So
So it's almost like it does feel, I mean, again, don't you just think it's like deciding what feels best out of your options? Like this feels better to get out ahead of it and work 30 minutes a day or early in the morning of each vacation or twice during the
yeah.
week while I'm gone or something, like create some sort of framework.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't go on vacation and work 8 hours a day, but it does make me feel better to just stay on top
Yeah.
of some things.
Yeah. Yeah. I um I agree with you. And I think too, I wonder if I could be doing a better job when I go on vacation of letting people know in advance that I'm going to be gone and I am not going to be
Hmm.
working.
Hmm.
Because I don't. I hide the fact that I'm going to be gone. I don't like to even say that I'm going to be gone until like
Mm.
right at that last minute. Again, I think the story I'm telling myself is that looks bad if you do that. It looks like you're trying to not do your work or you're trying to, and I own my own company. It doesn't matter. There's nobody I'm reporting to but me. But I put that pressure on myself. It's like it's all
your,
this self-induced
your
stuff.
boss is a slave driver.
So mean.
So mean.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, so
interesting though how we talk to ourselves and the stories
yeah.
that we're telling ourselves about being gone.
Yeah. Yeah, so I wonder, this makes me think like I should go back to my company and really try to examine like do we have like a cultural problem?
Hmm.
I mean, obviously if I'm doing it, like it's probably a cultural problem and it's
It's a
coming from
cultural,
me.
and I would replace the word problem with norm. It's a cultural norm.
You're right. It is the cultural norm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, and so that, and that makes it even harder because it's not
Yeah.
a problem; it's a norm. So it's even harder to call out what looks to be something that is we've become accustomed to,
Mhm.
and yet, do we really come back? Vacation is meant to refresh us, for us to
Yeah.
feel rested, to feel rejuvenated, ready to take on the world,
Yep.
be happy, like all the way down, all the way through. The tank is ready to roll. But I don't think a lot of times vacations feel like that much anymore. And I think we should have a big self awareness journey push to get back to that kind of vacation, where we just have this more freedom and expansive way, so we can come back really refreshed. I like that
Uh,
idea. It might be
oh my
aspirational, but I
god.
like it.
I can't even get my brain around how that could even actually happen.
Well, you know what? I was reading this article, Ariana Huffington from the Huffington Post.
Mhm.
She wrote an article about when she's on vacation, and I absolutely, there were so many parts to it that were really good, but the very last part was the one that always sticks with me. And this is how she deals with her emails when she's on vacation. Normally, we either A, don't put on a responder that says we're gone. We just let them come in. B, we put on a responder that always says, I'm out of the office until X. Please leave you can call so-and-so if this is an emergency. That's usually what people will do.
Yeah.
What she does is she leaves a responder that says, I am on vacation until X. I will not be checking this email. If you want me after this date, please send me another email.
Oh,
And
that's awesome. Like
wow, it puts the onus back on that person.
This email is going in the trash can. Let me know if you want something later.
She said the reason she did that is because she could never, ever escape. She was constantly beholden to her email and her voicemail.
That's a brilliant tactic.
Isn't it?
I got to tell you, I don't think I'm brave enough to do that. Right,
really?
Sitting right now. That sounds terrifying. I mean, think about it. Like the you talk about like this idea, like fear of missing out or something, right? Or like you miss something important. You feel like you might be. I don't know. That sounds scary to me.
Yeah,
I could maybe try it.
Well, I mean, I'm the whole point of my conversation, today, and you and I talking about this is just to bring awareness to how our feelings are and how we behave when we're even trying to do something for ourselves, like go on vacation, how we pack it with all of these anxiety driving thoughts and activities. We pack around it, in front of it, and behind it. So like, and does it really serve us? So when you come back, do you really feel refreshed and like you're so pleased that you were gone?
Yeah. I don't even want to admit to you what I actually did earlier this week.
Come on now you gotta.
It's bad. So earlier this week, so I'm going on vacation, right?
Yep.
But here it comes. Earlier this week, the president of one of the businesses was like, "Hey, JJ, we got this travel ban, because of the pandemic and everything still, but like we've got this really big sales opportunity. We think we're really close to closing it. I mean, it's like a game changer kind of opportunity." He's like, "There's a meeting next week, and I would really like, someone to go there. Like, and it's an in-person meeting, which like at this point we're like, it's crazy. It's an in-person meeting."
Yeah. Right.
And he's like, I was like, "Oh, like when is it?" He's like, "It's on Tuesday next week."
When you're on vacation.
When I'm on vacation. I was like, "Where is it?" He's like, "Salt Lake City." I was like, "Well, crap." Like, I'm literally going to be in Salt Lake City. Like, that's where my vacation is. Right?
That's terrible.
So here's my option. Is say like, yeah, you should, fly out there and go to the meeting, which is like literally a 1 hour long meeting. Right? Or
you can
I
skip
just
out
drive
of vacation.
The 30 minutes to the meeting, have it, and drive back is like 2 hours out of my day.
And you obviously chose
going to the meeting.
The only one that seems to make sense.
Right. And they're like, "Oh yeah, and you can't wear jeans." I'm like, "Oh my God, do I even own pants?" I have no idea.
You can't wear jeans. Oh.
No, yeah, right?
They're serious. Yeah.
Very serious.
Very
like,
serious.
I'm in the tech industry. All I wear is like a hoodie and jeans. I have no other clothes. In fact, if I show up in anything else, someone would think something's wrong.
Exactly.
The only time I dress up is when I actually go on vacation. Well, so, okay. Admitting that little bit aside.
Yeah.
We won't dive into the
right.
deep problems of that decision just now. Um, you mentioned coming back from vacation,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Like we get back, we have all of our crap, and we just like, blah, like plunk it down in the middle of our living room or whatever,
Hmm.
and then like you gotta wake up the next day and go to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does
So,
that feel?
yeah, we have this thing where we, no matter what, don't put our stuff away. I mean, we don't stop moving until we put our stuff away. We walk in the house.
Oh, you're
The
saying like
la-
this is an Albers family
It's an Albers
protocol.
family
I see.
protocol. It's not fun. It is not fun because you're crabby and tired usually when you're coming back because it's all over. And all the laundry, the machine starts running and this is not my choice, can you tell? I'm like, oh, for the love, like the washing machine's already started. We just got home 6 minutes ago. Can we just relax a minute? Nope.
Oh, this
So-
feels like this is just like your husband's sweet spot. He's like, this is where
Yeah, this is where
this
he
is where I
shines.
take over,
This
right?
is where I shine. Look out. Oh, yeah. And then ultimately, boom, the laptops are both up. Nobody's talking. Everybody's
Yeah,
just
everyone's
getting back.
checking back in, right?
Yep.
Trying to get right back in the lane.
Yep. Yep. And I just wonder how long the energy stays with us from that relaxed state of vacation. If it carries
Well,
us.
Sounds like it stopped as soon as you started the washing machine. Well, that's
So,
true,
yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
is interesting to think about. Like, if the point was to recharge and bring some of that refreshed energy
Yeah.
back into your life, back into your work, back into
Right.
everything,
Right.
why are we making such an abrupt
Yeah.
switch?
Yeah. So I just think like this whole topic is not about, feeling bad that you're on vacation. Although we've talked a lot about the experiences of how our mind does stuff about vacation before, during, and afterwards. But I really think it's important to, just decide, like make a decision. What is this going to be for me?
Hmm.
What do I really want this to be for me? And what am I willing to do to uphold that feeling?
Yeah.
And because those are choices that we can make, and we just kind of get out of the habit of realizing that we can make those kinds of choices too. It's just as simple as deciding where we're going to go on vacation. We can simply say we're going to decide to be this way about this vacation and when we get home. Like I really think it's as simple as a choice, but we just kind of forget. We just kind of get numbed out about that and want to get back to our stuff that we have to do instead of be.
I like that. Like instead of planning the destination or the activities of your vacation, plan like the state of mind you want to be in,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other stuff
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
fall into place.
Or even plan on having an open state of mind, right? Like I remember when I started doing a lot of international traveling, I was listening to someone who did that a lot, and I was learning a lot at the beginning, and they said something that I thought was so interesting. They said, when you travel internationally, when you have too many expectations about what things are going to be, you are going to be disappointed and you're going to be resentful, and
Yeah.
you're probably going to get yourself really trapped. So the most important thing is to stay really open and just focus on enjoying the experience. Like be
Yeah.
open to the experience, all of the stuff about the experience. And I just love that. And I think even doing that in our own personal feelings as it relates to us leaving our lives to take these trips, be open to what that can feel like.
Hmm. Yeah, I like that. Well, I'm going to start all of that apparently my next vacation because I already wrecked this one.
You did not. I hope you have a fantastic time.
It'll be great.
We hope that you've enjoyed today's episode. Our mission is to help people become happier and more effective by gaining insight into their own thoughts and feelings. We'd love your support. First, share this podcast with anyone you think might enjoy it. Second, leave us a rating or review on your favorite podcast site. This helps others discover the podcast so we can reach more people. And third, sign up for our newsletter at theselfawarenessjourney.com. This will help us communicate better with you and build our community. Thank you so much for joining us in the Self-Awareness Journey. We'll see you next week.